that uncertainty that has occurred, right? How about anyone else want to share maybe a project that's not on track? I feel like should be one more maybe. It's not quite on track. Those of you, okay, that are on track, why are you on track? What's going on? What makes you successful? Yeah.
I believe we've split the tasks across the team very effectively.
Okay.
So, for example, my project is Scan. We're designing an RFID scanner system that scans RFID tags that bikers, cyclists will have on them as they pass through a point, and that point will have the RFID scanner scan the tag, take the information, pass it on to a server, and then the cyclist will be able to access it through a website. So,
to what end? Why do they want this data?
It's also for the Purdue Alternative Transportation department. They want statistics
Gotcha.
of bike traffic on campus.
Yep.
So, yeah, this could also work with bigger community campus.
Sure. Okay.
So the idea is that we split up the tasks to the hardware team, the backend team, which is on the server. The hardware team is tasked with electronics installation of the system, and then the front-end team is tasked with the website interface.
Okay.
And even in these teams, we still have separate tasks. So we have great task division.
Okay. So then how do you communicate with each other with that division?
Usually, in each team, say the hardware team would communicate with each other through either up close during meetings or through Basecamp.
Okay. But how about how do teams communicate with each other within your team?
Usually the design leads are the people who get us to communicate with each other.
Okay. So then if you go in to do a project somewhere in your professional life, you would like to set teams up like this where each person has their responsibilities and their duties. How are they interfacing with the client? How are you going back and forth and communicating that?
Okay, so even though our project is on track, we have had a communication breakdown at some point with a community partner, but now we actually reestablished the communication after quite a few weeks.
So how did you do that? What did you learn from that?
I think it's basically the project manager who was mainly communicating or trying to communicate with the community partner, and the design leads. They mostly did the communication with the community partner.
Where did the breakdown happen?
So the breakdown happened. Basically, the manager said they were trying to contact the community partner, and he just wouldn't respond for unknown reasons.
Okay.
But then he responded back around 10 of December, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And now we're actually going to meet with them to discuss alternatives about installation of the prototype.
Okay. So how do you speed up that contact? I feel like we've talked about this before, but if someone's not responding to you, what do you do? What do you do? I know this happens in all of the projects. What do you do? So if you send an email to your community partner, to your stakeholder, and they don't respond, what do you do?
Try different methods of communication.
Okay, how many of you actually do that, though? Okay, maybe one of you. Do many of you just send another email? Yep. I probably will have 65 emails in my inbox in the next hour when I go back. So, and I'm not as busy as a lot of these people. So emails sometimes are not as effective. So you might want to think about another way to communicate. And I know phones can be scary, but oftentimes they're effective. Going out to see people, and I know, again, some of you can't because your partners are in other locations, but don't be afraid for that face-to-face contact. That is also very helpful. Other successes in a project that you guys have had that you think everyone would benefit from hearing? Successes. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious, but a lot of people just don't do it. like you shouldn't really assume what your partner wants, like
Yes.
what your partner wants.
Yes.
And a team like that I manage that I've noticed has been really successful is because they really always iterate with the project partner rather iterating off of their assumptions.
Right.
And I think that's like why they've been able to deliver a lot quicker than other teams because they have like a really clear understanding of what their project partner wants.
Right. And that is reflection right there, right? That in its fundamental sense, that iterative process of back and forth collecting feedback and informing your design is reflection right there. And it's so critical. And yes, obvious, but it doesn't happen, right? And it's because we get busy and we can't contact our stakeholder and we have all these problems, right? And so we just move forward. But we really need to put on the brakes and go back to that constant process. And it's all about forming relationships with individuals first, and then you can do that, okay? All right, so just a couple tips for reflection in general. Some of these, again, should be obvious, but we don't often do that. Take some time. I think that's what it all comes down to, is take time to do it. If you have a reflective assignment, use it for yourself so that you can become a better professional. Insert this practice in your daily lives. You don't have to do it every day, but do it once a week at least. Think about your EPICS project and how you can make it better, how you can become a better student, how you can get better at your internship, how you can be a better son or a better daughter, right? That's all reflective practice. That whole touchy-feely, permit yourself to feel emotion, that's okay, actually. That's how sometimes we learn our best lessons, is we either get really mad about something or really happy about something, but oftentimes that's where the most powerful lessons come from, right? And I think this is really important to think about, these last two. Try, when you're reflecting, think about it from a different perspective than just your own. It's very easy to get in kind of this space where we're only thinking about why things happen from our frame and our perspective, but there are external forces that shape everything in this world, right? So you want to make sure you're trying to be mindful of those things when you're reflecting on your projects and trying to make them better. And that kind of speaks to linking experience, your past, present experiences together, okay? Any questions about reflection at all? Things that you're concerned with your project that we should talk about? Shop through. Yeah.
I have a question for you actually. When you said that your team was like doing really well, like contacting the project partner, like keeping that up, how often do they communicate and what does that look like?
So for the team that has this particular project partner, I actually require them to talk to them once a week because our project partner is based in Boston, but our project, so basically the project is like, we're in Team Farm and we're building an offline EMR system, which is an electronic medical record system for partners in health, and they're a particular chapter in Mexico. And because, you know, like in terms of like the socioeconomic status of that region and like geographical differences, I think it's really easy to assume things, but it'd be obviously really different. So that's like why I've always had them like, you have to speak with him once a week, especially because none of us are clinicians ourselves. And it's, again, like really easy to assume certain things. But obviously there are weeks like where they can't talk to him just because he's busy or like the time doesn't work out. But I feel like a lot of students in general, from what I've noticed on other teams, they're like hesitant to have that frequent communication. But that doesn't really make sense to me because you meet for EPICS once a week and you're working towards a goal for your project partner once a week. So like, why would you not, like, I don't know why you would not
talk to people.
compatible, like, or make that meeting something you require.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. How many of you do talk to your partners once a week? I'm just curious. Every 2 weeks? Once a month? Okay. I mean, if you think about that, over the course of the semester, how many months do we have in a semester? 3, maybe you could count, right? So you've talked to them will have talked to them 3 times, and the last time is when you're actually delivering your product. It's probably not good practice, right? So think about how you can change those frameworks. Again, this is like a lesson you've learned, but how do you then apply it into your project, right? So talk to, what was your name? I'm sorry. Siba. Talk to Siba about how she does it in her team, right? I mean, they're doing it well. That's a good thing. Other questions like that?
don't have to talk to your project partner for like half an hour. Like, you just need to check in on them. Like if you were in an internship, you would check in with your manager for like 10 minutes and be like, this is what I'm doing today. And I feel like you could do the same thing with your project partner and be like, we've done these things for the past week. Does that make sense to you? Where do you see us moving forward? Kind of like that. Like, you don't have to make it this like long, dragged out thing. You know?
And I think something you just mentioned is asking questions. So don't make them give you a response too. Don't just say like, okay, is this what we're gonna do? Is this okay? And they'll be like, yeah, okay. But ask them a little bit more about it, right? More specifics, okay? All right. So this is the last part of the series in which I'll be talking. The Purdue Journal for Service Learning and International Engagement is next week. So if you are at all interested in writing for the journal, it's a chance to publish. You can do community partner profiles. So you could profile your community partner. You could do a self-reflection, which you guys have already started reflections as part of the requirement for EPICS anyway. So you could expand those out into a publishable form. If any of you are doing research related to your projects, you can turn your research into a piece for the journal as well. And someone will talk about that next week. All right. Thank you very much. Maybe go take a nap or something. Or, it's rainy and we'll just call it a day. All right. Have a good afternoon.